compelling points. I mean, it's compelling stuff that he wrote.
Yeah.
I like that. It's they're watching us.
It's YouTube.
Hello. Hiya.
This is Charlie.
That's Theo there.
And we are SchlockGANG.
We've decided to make a fucking YouTube channel.
Pretty much just to sort of air any thoughts or rants because our opinions are better than everyone else's.
Yeah, they are, it's true. And no one was listening and we get very frustrated.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, God's one thing, but, you know, he's not good enough, he never replies.
Our word can be gospel and we can hopefully sort of get a group of acolytes that worship the ground and walk on after a certain amount of time.
Hopefully, be a sort of Stefan Molyneux to the new YouTube generation.
This is sort of an amalgam of the bloody tears of brain-dead Brussels busybody bureaucrats.
Well, we'll be talking about anything vaguely geeky, nerdy, mother's basement.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We are literally in my mother's basement.
Yes, no, this is
it's not a joke. We've got a piece of paper down there, but just where we're looking down, and we've organised what we want to talk about.
Seen two things at the cinema the past week. There was the 40th anniversary showing of John Carpenter's Halloween, which I'd never seen before.
I'm so jealous.
It's quite apt for October, and yeah, for a person who's not even a big horror film, not a slasher fan or anything, I'm not really well versed in the genre. For me, that film, you can't help but think it's iconic because for me that embodies everything you want from a horror film. Yeah,
and I haven't seen it, but you said it was sort of grounded, and I like how the villain is like a serial killer. He's just a dude, like he's anonymous and he's strange and he's, I suppose, not otherworldly, but unsettling.
Well, yeah, he's evil incarnate, as John Carpenter wanted to make him, and all you hear is his breathing, and you see his face for a slight moment just before he dies at the end of, well, he dies, he gets shot.
Oh, and then she's in the front, and in the background he rises up, doesn't he?
Well, that's earlier, but yeah, so Michael Myers is sort of obviously iconic for all the right reasons, but for me, it was just it wasn't so much him. It was more just the style in which it was taken. The fact that the suburban lifestyle of this girl is like so overly cheesy, like so overly laid back, kind of goofy.
Yeah, that's the thing that modern films are kind of scared to do. They never do like the everyday. They never go full everyday schmaltz cheese little community. Yeah, it's about to get ruined by some nefarious.
The friends who I saw it with said stuff like, "Oh, it was slightly overacted, and the sort of audio wasn't good and stuff." But almost that helped it feel more. I don't know, the overacting. Why are you being such an idiot? That type thing. I liked it. Yeah. I mean.
There's something weird about, vintage is the wrong word, but there's something weird and unsettling about older horror films. There's something about a modern horror film that doesn't quite get under your skin.
Yeah, well, I think because they think that horror film has to be a certain thing, which is, creaky floorboards, dark lighting.
Monster! There's a big monster.
Jump scares, and I suppose they just all blur into one.
That's the thing. They go for shock over suspense, whereas older horror films seem to be more based around suspense, but newer ones.
Yeah, I mean, as John Carpenter said, there was a little documentary which I thought was really cool. Instead of trailers or anything, there was a whole documentary of John Carpenter speaking about the making of the film. And he just says it all spurred out of the fact he just wanted to make a very traditional horror film. He didn't want to do anything too ridiculously new. He didn't want to do anything too.
But he did. He sort of accidentally started.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it's the most basic form that genre can ever be told in. That's the thing. It's the most basic slasher story ever. It's one of the most basic sort of horror stories. There's not much going on for an hour and a half, but I like that. It doesn't feel cluttered. It doesn't feel like it's trying to do.
So is it just that are they hunting him down, or is he hunting them down?
Well, he's hunting them down. He's come back. He's broken out of prison, and he's.
What? So he knows them personally, or he's just?
No, he doesn't know them personally. Yeah, he's just. Well, I'm pretty sure it's the house that he used to live in.
Oh, okay.
So he comes back to the house,
and they've just got to survive.
Whoever's there, yeah.
No, that sounds good. I want to see it. I should see it.
Yeah.
What was the soundtrack like? Because John Carpenter always.
Well, obviously, yeah, iconic.
Synthy.
Yeah, very, very 80s. I mean, so 80s sometimes that the horror aspect's lost almost by how goofy and silly the soundtrack is. But I love that. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting to be scared by Halloween, but
No.
I could see why someone from that time period would be.
Yeah, Michael Myers is pretty damn scary in a way.
And it's the first time a character like that was properly done.
Yeah.
In that
it's
way.
It's the blank mask. It's the blank face mask.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We were talking the other day about what the first slasher film was, and it's kind of Halloween. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a year earlier. But that's not really a conventional slasher. That's almost like documentary style. It's very strange. It's much more low-key than something like Halloween.
Yeah.
Psycho kind of started the whole thing, but it's not a slasher. Okay, there you go. There's your bit of festive spookiness, spooky horror.
That's your October.
The month of October.
Nonsense.
Let's have a back graphic. Like, the screen right now. I watched a very interesting film called American Animals recently, starring Quicksilver, but I can't remember the
Evan
actor's name.
Peters.
Evan Peters. It's like a crime thriller, I suppose, but it's much more low-key.
Based on a true story.
Based on a very bizarre true story.
Those are the best.
Yeah, it's about a group of university students who, because they're sort of listless and they don't really know what they're doing with their lives, they decide to club together to steal a very sort of priceless book from their university library, even though they have no idea how to pull off a heist. They've only seen heist films and they can sort of do it. And not hilarity ensues, but strangeness ensues, yeah. And they have to, the big question is there's this sweet old librarian that they have to find a way to take her out, and they're like, we won't hurt her, we're not going to hurt her, we promise. But they have no way of knowing, what that entails, and it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. There's this bit of text at the beginning that says, this is not based on a true story, this actually happens, and I think that kind of sums up the weirdness. Yeah. We have interviews spliced in with the actual people who did it 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Well, I'm not usually too big a fan of basing stuff on true stories or whatever, but it seems like the way that this film does it makes it service the film rather than the... what I mean? Rather than just trying to be a film by its own merit, it's also a film that sort of acknowledges that it's real, and that's a part of the...
It works because it's such a crazy story, and it's like, if you saw it written in a TV show or whatever, you'd be like, this is bad writing. There are massive leaps of logic that I can't suspend my disbelief, you know what I mean? They never do this. They actually did. And it's kind of stylishly done. Like, there's a scene where the two main characters are talking in a car, smoking a joint, and they're like planning the heist. Then the actual guy who did the heist, sort of walks, like the real guy who's being interviewed, walks onto the scene and goes, no, that's not how it happened. It was at a party, and then you like smash cut out there talking. There's like weird stuff like that. And it's just about not pretentious. Like, those films, it really skirts with pretend, but it kind of gets away with it somehow. I don't know. I don't really know how.
I think that's something that will pop up in all SchlockGANG videos. What is pretentious?
Yeah. And why does that feel pretentious, but that doesn't?
I mean, if you don't know us personally, pretentiousness is one of the biggest problems in film and TV for both of us.
Especially in this day and age.
I feel like a lot of stuff has been murked over with a veil of pretension.
With this strange intellectualism that doesn't really...
A lot of writers and directors think that they need to sound more intelligent to make a better film, and that's not always the case. The intelligence can be seen through the way something's done.
And it is an intelligently written script, American Animals, actually, and it is pretentious, but it's done with such attitude.
Panache.
And just like attention to detail that it's sort of...
And it's just a film. It's just a film.
It's a film with
if you took away the real life elements,
story.
that would be an engaging film.
It's a brilliant little story.
Yeah, another film I went to see was A Simple Favour, Paul Feig's latest film.
My God,
which I was
the infamous Paul Feig.
Which I was apprehensive to watch at first, just because I thought, what's it going to entail for an audience member like me? The tone seemed a lot stranger in the trailer because it was sort of pseudo-comedy.
Isn't it?
But the actual film was actually very funny and
was
very
it properly
engaging.
funny? Like, from beginning to end.
There are some crazy decisions in there. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! There is a scene in the film in which the main character, Anna Kendrick's character, is sort of revealed to have not only had sex with her half brother, but had a child with her half brother, and is a mother in the film, and it's just like. It's got that Kingsman 2 edge to it, but it's done better than Kingsman 2 because it's a little more.
That's outrageous, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But because it doesn't have, the difference with Kingsman 2 is I felt like if you've done the first film a specific way, you can't do the second film.
Well, it's the same to a degree, but they've just died. They died so hard that you get bored eventually.
But the Donald Trump president sort of satire that's a jump and shot moment.
Yeah,
but there are elements of A Simple Favour. I just think the characterization. I mean, it's based. I think it's based on a book.
What, A Simple Favour?
Yeah.
Well, the plot is quite strong. A woman trying to find her missing.
And the twist is kind of interesting. There are several twists. I've never seen a film recently in the cinema with that many twists. Like every single second. Well, because there's that comedy edge to it, like, it's not even that some of them need to work, some of them are just twists because it will be funny and crazy and bonkers and witty and wacky.
Would you recommend?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that it's definitely a film that you could just sit down if you had nothing to do and enjoy and not have any big problems with it. So mums would like it.
Yeah. I've been watching Good Place. It's bite-sized, so I'm up to episode 7 or 8, I think, already. It's really good. It's really, really good.
Well, yeah.
It has that Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt type charm, you know what I mean, where you can't help but just...
everything's so cartoony.
Yeah, and it's sort of goofy. Even the way characters move and like enter and exit frame and stuff is whoosh, you know.
I mean, it's directed like such a sort of schlocky American TV show, but it's to its service.
It does border on being cheap looking sometimes, but you know.
But I think that's what makes it better.
Yeah,
I think that services sort of the weird comedy of it and how the sets look obviously like sets.
Yeah.
And like, you know what I mean? The whole thing is sort of whimsical and.
It's not like amazing, but it is good.
No, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's one of those shows where it's like any mood, any time, anyone, anywhere. You can watch an episode of it.
Sometimes that's all you want. Like the best sort of comedies I find are those comedies. The comedies that you can sit down and just say. It's like yesterday. It was just like just have nothing to do. Blackadder.
Yeah.
And I've seen all of the episodes 1,000 times, and I know them like off by heart. But it's just like. Endlessly entertaining.
It's just fun. The characters are the high point though, obviously. All of them are good. The main character is the worst character, but it's not really, I think it's not a conscious decision, but it's because she's, the POV character and stuff. And it's not to the show's detriment, but she is like the least interesting and engaging character. And unlikable if it wasn't a comedy, you couldn't get away with the main character being that unlikable. Yeah. Because it sort of works, doesn't it?
But again, that's the point, isn't it? That she's supposed to be kind of unlikable and she doesn't fit in. And
I'm guessing she'll have some sort of arc where she learns to be a good person,
the show is. I mean, season 1's good, but season 2 is where it's sort of, for me, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because a big flaw I have with it at the moment is it feels a bit enclosed. There's just like 5 characters all sitting down talking to each other.
Yeah, it gets crazy
in the same combinations. I'm going to carry on watching it. It's very fun, very easy to digest. It's so, it's uninsulting, it's endearing, you can't help it.
It's Netflix, it's
very Netflix. Sort of reminds me of Nosedive, that one Black Mirror episode, in a way.
Which is not my favourite.
I quite like that episode. I think it's pretty good. Did you not like it?
Well, it's not that I don't like it. We moved on to Black Mirror.
I enjoyed it.
So I just think it's a bit of a waste. My problem with Black Mirror lies down in the fact that back when it used to be 3 episodes, every episode felt different and important. And stuff like Nosedive. Yeah, but stuff like Nosedive has no. You know what I mean? It just fades into it. It's filler basically.
Yeah, but no, I really genuinely enjoy it.
No, I really enjoy it.
But it's script. It does go on for too long now. Brilliant ending. And it looks
the ending. Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Bryce Dallas Howard is really good.
But that's my biggest problem with Black Mirror in general. If it had just been, I think they should have just stayed 4 seasons, 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And you could literally take a whole season and a bit's worth of the bad episodes of Black Mirror, get rid of them from the show entirely, and it would be a better show.
Yeah. I must admit, season 4?
4.
Most recent, very hit or miss. I watched the whole thing, but like,
Just feels like
I didn't like Black Museum. It feels like a retread.
maybe they don't know. I don't know. They can't capture the same magic. I think is what it is. They can't capture the same tone. It's like,
USS Callister was good. Metalhead was good because that was very different. I really like that.
Yeah.
That was engaging. That was a good idea.
But it's crazy now because Black Mirror can be that.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's weird.
What's happening?
It's weird. Charlie Brooker is making a Black Mirror episode where the viewer chooses the ending, and we talked about it and we were like, oh my god. He's running the show into the ground.
That's what I mean, he's running out of ideas.
Yeah.
Even though he's brilliantly talented, but I feel like Black Mirror is not the kind of show you can just churn out episodes.
No, you need to be very particular. Yeah. The B episode is brilliant though.
The B episode is good.
But it does feel like a different show. And it is getting more and more ridiculous as it goes on, to the point where it's hard not to laugh at it now. When robot bees kill the whole population of Earth, or whatever it was, most of the population of Earth.
But it's lost the point, the whole thing is like technology and
like sort of creepiness, eeriness, and now it's like 50 million bodies, and how disgusting.
Like it's like sort of doing all of these sequels to Alien, where they sort of try and do the same formula, but then they realise they can't do the same formula, so they have to do aliens in different ways and show them in different ways, and they're just running out.
And everyone hates Prometheus, so they go back to the formula with Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant looks like God's tier schlock, by the way. Neither of us have seen it, but it looks so completely
And I'm a fan of the Alien franchise. Up until Alien Covenant, there's not even Alien Resurrection is strangely insane.
I haven't seen a clip of that film or anything.
It's crazy.
So you like Alien versus Predator?
No, I've not seen Alien vs Predator.
I've seen a clip of it. It's quite funny.
It's quite scary, that film. Like, but I've never understood this. But it's like Freddy versus Jason.
Who's paying money? Who's buying a ticket to the cinema?
I suppose it's kind of iconic that these things are facing up.
Yeah.
But there's no way you can do the story especially Alien vs Predator. They can't talk. Just reminds me of Transformers. There was always in a Transformers film that's
like dumb soldier characters. What's happening? Why they never really had anything to do?
And then John Turturro would always get involved.
That being said, though, Transformers 1 is fine. It's never really angered
2 and 3 are not.
3 is genuinely not the worst. 2 is pretty bad.
2's pretty bad, but they're still alright, see?
Yeah, there are, to be honest.
I mean, the weird thing with Transformers is at least it's its own style, its own...
Yeah, it's memorable.
I mean, it's not funny comedy, but at least it's its own...
It's trying to be goofy, it's trying to do something. The Last Night looks just abhorrent. I'm not even going to see that movie.
No, I'm not going to see it.
If for nothing else, it looks horribly lazy, and I can't stand when film and TV is lazy.
Well, how can something be so lazy? And you could argue that this isn't laziness, this is just sort of production difficulties. But like Michael Bay, how did he not realise by using 3 different cameras whilst filming, the aspect ratio is going to change?
But then that happens in The Dark Knight.
Does it?
Yeah. The most embarrassing show on television. You can't watch it with your friends. You can't even watch it with your family.
You can. But you've got to keep your opinions to yourself.
And you've got to pick the episode quite carefully. Doctor Who. What a show. It's not even good. I like it though.
Well, I've never seen a show that can go from having the worst piece of television ever to
some
the
of the
best. Of TV.
Yeah. So the first episode of season 11 aired last Sunday.
The Woman Who Fell to Earth. This is a Sunday today, so the Ghost Monument
is out today. I'm quite excited for the second episode. It looks quite good. The screen caps are beautiful.
Well, it looks more interesting than the first.
Yeah,
let's talk about
that. So it's a weird thing. I was in my dorm in university. I was waiting for it to come on, and I was by the end I was kind of counting down the minutes. By the time it was 5 minutes to go, I was like, oh, you know, I was very excited. Sat down to watch it. I was enjoying it. You know, I didn't really think too much about it when I was watching it, which maybe isn't a good sign. But I was just like, this is fun. You know?
Yeah.
And then I finished it and went to Skype him so we could discuss it, and we found that we had really not a lot to say, strangely enough. Well, you forget it's the first female Doctor's episode and stuff because it's just so underplayed. It doesn't feel like.
I mean, it's a very solid script, but sometimes solid's not always the most entertaining. Like it isn't. It was a very entertaining episode, and the villain was cool.
The villain was cool,
and I don't know that some of the ideas and the direction of where they could go this series
is very
really promising.
Yeah,
but I just think you should always treat the Doctor's first episode, any companion's first episode, as still an episode.
Yeah,
it's still a Doctor Who episode.
Like Partners in Crime does it well because that is set on modern day Earth, but it's still a big romping, silly, campy adventure.
Yeah.
You know,
The
Christmas Jones,
the Christmas Invasion.
Yes,
Deep
brilliant.
11th Hour. They all. For me, it is of New Who. It's the worst regeneration.
See, I think it's better than Deep Breath, but I'd probably rather watch Deep Breath than The Woman Who Fell to Earth. But it is undoubtedly better.
I mean, it is sort of better than Deep Breath because there's less Moffatisms. I will find myself less annoyed. My teeth will be in better condition. I won't be grating.
And it's a simpler story. It's to the point. It's a classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It seems like Chris Chibnall, the new showrunner, is making a conscious effort to make this season more low key. You know what I mean? Just like a season 2 or
Doctor Who,
where every episode is just that was alright. You know what I mean? And you just come away from it feeling like feeling okay.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. Because Moffat's Doctor Who was schizophrenic.
Well, but it's. I mean, it's an amalgam of things for me. I mean, Earth episodes are usually not really my favourite episodes. Sheffield's not that interesting. I just think location-wise, they could have gone somewhere more interesting. At least set it a day.
Well, there was a lot of interior warehouse night. Strange enough, we talked about this phenomenon like 2 weeks before it aired. We were like, I've had enough of warehouses and underground car parks. Where are they? Why are they here? Why are they just hanging out? And what is this warehouse for?
And you always know you're just stuck there. Because what can happen in that kind of scene? It's not like someone can bump into them. They're
somewhere. They're in, I don't know, industrial wasteland of some description.
It's like I just don't understand putting, well, not pen to paper because you'd be writing it online, but why you type out in a script for it to be in a location like a warehouse.
For a Doctor Who script.
Literally anywhere. They went to a forest earlier on, why not just have it in the forest?
And that stuff is beautiful actually.
It
looks very pretty.
The cameras are
I love
hit and miss for me.
No, I thought big step up.
Well, they are overall, but I just felt like for this episode, I don't know, maybe directing Earth in that way or making it look sort of. I think it will pop much more when there's a lot of colour, there's a lot of space.
Next episode seems to be
and a lot of crazy costumes and designs, but look, seeing
Sheffield
it basically be a cinematic version of just any basic British original drama. I think that's what was weird for me. It's like, okay, but the cameras are really good, but there's nothing to make look good type thing.
I get you. But you get that that's what he was doing, you know. He wanted this first episode to look like a boring British drama, so Joe Public won't turn off. I mean?
And we're not Joe Public, we're Charlie and Theo SchlockGANG.
Big Doctor Who
fans, very demanding. I like the design more because it's not CGI first.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
And I wasn't expecting it, so.
No, was I? That was the beautiful thing. I was like, what is this now? You know?
Exactly, and I've missed that with Doctor Who. For such a long time during Moffat, you just knew what you were
getting
the villain
into. Was and what was going to happen.
Well, and you knew that no villain was going to be a villain. And then if they were, they'd appear for a minute.
They'd have one scene, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, wait, no, where's it going? And then
oh my gosh.
Should we no, you go.
Another thing I just want to say if that episode is the only 65-minute extended episode,
it is.
That's gonna really because almost every episode, I guarantee when the series is ended, almost every episode I'd want to be longer.
Deserved the
and Women Who Fell to Earth could be fit 45
Thing
minutes.
is, if you cut out Grace, because, you know,
what?
she's unnecessary.
But maybe that's the character. I mean, Chris Chibnall said he wanted character arcs instead of story arcs, so that probably has some impact on the.
It will, yeah. I mean, they'll talk about it next episode. But I mean, if we've got to introduce 3 companions here. Cut the dead weight. She took up a lot of screen time and then just died. And I didn't care when I don't know about you. I didn't feel anything when Grace died. I don't know this character.
I don't really buy why any of the companions gave the Doctor the time of day. It was
very quick. They trusted.
It was a bit too quick.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to sound negative though, because obviously it's a vast improvement over Stephen Moffat.
Yeah.
Just in terms of. He's clearly writing with good intentions.
Yeah, and he's got a plan. He's got he's got an idea in his head of what he wants the show to be. You know what I mean? And it comes across quite well. The Doctor. What do you think of the Doctor? One of the more unremarkable aspects of the episode.
Which is, I like the direction and I like the take she's sort of doing of. She's bubbly. She's energetic.
Childish.
Yeah. Which I think is the only way you could have gone. From Peter Capaldi to the next Doctor, to have the next one be like the opposite of in spirit,
it's a breath of fresh air,
young, less sort of confused, more just like
really open and honest, and doesn't lie and doesn't trick.
Because Peter Capaldi would cheat. His Doctor would overthink and
and get weird and obsessive
and get weird and not what I mean, like every decision was the biggest decision. Whereas Jodie Whittaker's just like, oh, alien, let's fight it, what I mean, let's do something.
One of her best moments is ta-da with the sonic screwdriver and it sparks. Yeah, she'll be fine. Well, I love her sort of hope, her sort of reckless hope. It'll be fine.
A bit I loved was. When I can't remember what the setup was, but when she first meets Tom Shaw's character, and she's like, no, we're standing in your way. If you want that, you'll have to go to us. And he shoots at this thing. No way, you can't have it. If the only reason they're doing a female Doctor is to be generic, strong female character, that's not what we want. Because for me, Peter Capaldi as the Doctor should have never been strong and had those speeches. Matt Smith shouldn't. The Doctor should always have that kind of charm because they're a bit, because the Doctor's a bit
hapless. Scraped through with 50% on his second try, wasn't it? On his time long
they've always got to get stuck in things. Like Tom Baker had obviously great presence, but he'd always be attacked by the villain or something, sweating,
making mistakes.
I mean that's for me that's what the Doctor resembles. But
companions then. I think Yaz is my favourite, although she was the most underrated.
She has
the most sort of natural spunk and charm.
She has the best reason to be travelling with the Doctor.
Yeah, she makes the most sense, I think.
Graham makes the least sense, but he's my favourite.
That's what's good about him,
I think that's what's desperately needed, especially in this era. If everything's going to be optimistic, you need a character like Graham to be the one who's reserved.
No, he will probably be the most fun when you're looking back at the series as a whole. You know what I mean? Out of the gag.
Be the most fun. Bradley Welsh was a companion. He's like the Nardo of series 11,
except much less laughable.
I don't know, because he sort of serves exactly. I can see him just serving exactly the same role, comic relief. But we don't know. We've seen literally 65 minutes of the whole season so far. So.
Ryan is endearing.
I don't understand why Tosin Cole was told to do a Sheffield accent.
His terrible Sheffield accent is very distracting. Well, it's not the worst accent, but it's not.
For me, I found it distracting.
And if you hear him talk with his normal voice in interviews, it's so much more charming. It's so much more, just natural. And the accent's a bit.
Well, I just feel like it's because the problem is, I think when you're acting and having to do an accent and you're not too comfortable with that accent. It just takes away from the dialogue. It takes away from what you're saying, because as an actor you can't properly focus on how you're going to say that line, because it's not you saying it, because you've got to say it in a different way to how you do.
Well, I noticed there were a few times in the episode where his accent slept, and it was his best beat. So it was his most natural sounding delivery.
Even though he is terrible, Nardo and the Doctor are together the whole thing, so I sort of broke that.
There's a brilliant deleted scene, I think you can find it on YouTube, where the 12th Doctor chastises Nardo. And I don't know what Peter Capaldi was thinking on that day, but the performance is wrong.
Yeah.
What's that face for?
He did several different takes. Angry, not angry.
Okay.
Like he was explaining stuff
That
like that. So I think
explains a
that's
few
why
things about
that
his
scene was
Doctor.
that way.
An opportunity to increase your tiny sense of self-worth.
I've just got one more question for you about the first episode. Maybe two. The first one is, what's with Sheffield? Because we're trying to get to the bottom of this.
Well,
Chris Chibnall went there for his masters, went to university there.
but you can't have fallen in love with it that much to put Doctor Who there.
Apparently he did. It's very weird though, isn't it? The
Yeah,
Sheffield
it's
thing.
just, it's tonally inconsistent because you think Doctor Who but that's probably why he did it, because you immediately think that Doctor Who has got to be a big
London.
location.
Yeah.
So I suppose putting it in Sheffield. But it doesn't match with everything else he's written for the season.
No.
'Cause the whole thing is he
It's
wants
big
big
and-
vistas,
Yeah.
sci-fi.
Did you get all kind of when she had her I'm the Doctor moment? Because I didn't expect to, but I kind of did a bit.
No, I didn't.
I
I,
did get
thought that
it.
was one of the worst moments of the episode.
It's over-egged, but
Well, it's because the setup was so obviously
it's like, oh, it's
breaking
coming.
the fourth wall.
Yeah.
She was literally talking about Jodie Whittaker being cast as.
No,
the
that's a
Doctor.
crowbarred line. It's good. It's not schlock. It's actually not that embarrassing. I watched it with a mate from uni, and I didn't cringe once. So that's a good change from the Moffat.
Yes.
Moving on to the next crazy show that's airing at the moment.
Walking Dead season 9 episode 1 aired on Sunday as well.
Same then, they're running concurrently.
Yeah, they're running concurrently, which is sort of more entertaining. Rick Grimes' last season and the first female Doctor. I mean, that's just crazy. Series 7 and Series 8 had its bad moments,
Yeah.
but I've
You
watched it
refused.
so long and I've been
gotta
such a
keep
big
going.
fan. And when I first got into that show, there was nothing like it. It was like the best show, because at the start there was just this amazing feel to it, this vibe, and nothing it was like it. That's the thing.
No.
There wasn't anything like it to begin with.
See, I should probably just say I've never seen a
Yeah.
episode of the show.
The only reason Charlie knows anything about The
Just
Walking
from
Dead is
his
from me.
Rants, you know. But I've always found cheap's the wrong word. It's just a bit quaint, isn't it? That show. It's
But
a
I
bit
think
quaint.
that's when you look at the overall. But I think episode to episode,
Yeah, it's
there
really
is
big.
different.
Yeah.
But there are loads of interesting things throughout the episodes. But season 7 and season 8, anyone who read the comics, anyone who didn't read the comics, knows that storyline went on way too long and dragged for
But see, this
no
is the thing that The
discernible
Walking
reason.
Dead seems to do. They drag out storylines, and if you sat the writer down and asked why, they would have no idea. Why are you dragging this out? Make it a season. Why do we have to sit here and slog through all this shit?
I think I don't know, it must be
It's
some
so
kind
annoying.
of curse with Scott Gimple's way of storytelling.
But it's like if you're writing a TV show,
Yeah.
every episode you need pace.
Yeah.
Season 9 is the first season of a new showrunner.
New showrunner Angela Kang, who's been working on the show for a long, long time, but now she's in creative control. And she just seems to have gotten the show back on its feet again. I don't know, she's breathed life back into it.
Seems like it.
From everything, just the marketing's a bit more interesting with like there's that poster with the white and Rick Grimes is in sort of red and this dark
It's
red
very cool.
against the white, and it's just stuff like that. It's
That's
playing
weird,
around
isn't
with
it?
the ideas more, and the logo's changed to like green foliage.
Yeah, that's a
over
lot
the
better
writing.
than that horrible Breaking Bad green
Yeah,
smoke.
yeah. So yeah, and I didn't know what to expect. I saw photos and stuff obviously in the trailer and thought this is a cool direction,
Yeah.
but I still don't know obviously until I see the episode. And then I saw the episode, and of course it still has that doesn't feel like a completely different show, but it feels like it harkens back to what the show originally was, which was
that's interesting.
genuinely gripping character drama, genuinely
Yeah.
gripping developments in the story that you couldn't always, and like I came into this episode not anticipating most of what was going to happen in it, and suddenly you get this scene between Daryl and Rick, and I wasn't expecting it to be interesting. I was like, oh, they're just having this scene for the sake of having this scene.
Yeah.
But then Daryl's having sort of doubts in Rick's leadership and like leaves his position as leader of the sanctuary and sort of walks away. And there's a bit of doubting in Rick's leadership, which could provide interesting things. And just the setup is interesting now. Like, how is this world going to work with so many communities and so many...
I see.
Yeah. They're all together now as one big collective. Like, obviously, the group is like split up now. Some people live in Hilltop, some people live in Sanctuary, some people live wherever.
Well, and they've got a truce, they've got an agreement.
Well, yeah, they all work for each other, they all fend for each other.
Yeah.
And now they've lost guns and cars and stuff like that, so it's all gone Western. Like, I saw some interview and they sort of monikered it, The Walking Deadwood, which I think is... Because that kind of vibe makes the show sort of tick again. I don't know, there's just...
It's something new, isn't it?
Energy back in that show. And even Gregory, spoiler alert, dies in this episode. He was a brilliant character. He was one of my favourites in the comics anyway, but the performance in the show of Xander Berkeley, the actor, is ridiculously good and ridiculously charismatic, and despite him appearing in sort of one of the worst eras of Walking Dead, he was always one of the most engaging characters throughout that time. And I think I'm not even annoyed that he's dead, because it's such a good thing to do in the first episode. It clearly shows that they've got...
Well, it's like you were saying, it's like these aren't fake, this isn't fake drama, this isn't just, we gotta survive.
This isn't stuff that's happening. It's forced.
It makes sense, and it comes out of character.
It's not forced, Negan just randomly pretending to almost kill someone, then stopping for no reason other than to tease the viewer, to not tease the viewer. Like, no one would believe it. That was a thing, and like Negan just doing the same old shit and threatening people, and it's like, but this isn't going anywhere.
Negan looks like a boring, stupid, annoying character.
Well, he's not a boring, stupid, annoying character, but he's in too much of it as the primary antagonist.
He's very American. The Americans would go mad for him, wouldn't they, Negan? Oh my god!
But I think he just works better in the comics. But the performance is brilliant, to be fair, and it's so iconic.
Yeah.
And you can't deny it. Like, it's genuinely an iconic.
Does he not annoy you at all?
Oh, he annoys me, but that was because he provided the same role, which in the comics was only about 20, 30 issues. For 32 episodes,
it's craziness. I don't understand.
The only interesting development they did with that was when Simon, his right-hand man, sort of betrayed him, faked Negan's death, and sort of took over. And that was
interesting.
3 episodes, and then Negan sort of...
But again, it's like, why? Why fake his death? Why not kill him?
Why not kill him? Negan. Well, you sort of... I understand why they...
No, but like in terms of what we're talking about forced drama that's not true to character, it's like, why did he do that?
Who, Simon?
Yeah.
Oh, because there's a whole lot of shit.
Why not just let his
Because Negan was just being... but it's more convoluted than that. It's that Simon wasn't there to see Negan die type thing. So in his mind, he sort of thinks Negan's dead, but he can't be sure. But he's told everyone else that he is for sure dead, and that he's now the leader type thing.
Yeah, that's quite good.
And sort of, manipulates the situation. I mean, Series 8 is better than Series 7. But it still was one of the worst seasons of the show. But Season 9, from just one episode already, feels like it's going in
it sounds
a
like it's
direction
got more blood pumping through it.
Yeah, and the cast is insane at this point. I mean, there's no characters that you remember that were there from Series 1 apart from Daryl, Carol and Rick. And Rick's leaving.
So,
and that means...
I really, really worry for the show in terms of Daryl becoming the new main character. That would be a big
I don't think he'll become the main character. I think Michonne, Carol and Daryl will all be the show.
But they're not... There's not enough in that show to... Because Daryl's obviously a boring nothing character. Michonne, from everything I've asked you haven't really told me the first thing about her, apart from that she has a sword.
She has a lot of good beats, but the problem is she's not well-defined enough. Because she's so normal.
Is she just like so moral? Is she just like...
Well, that's the thing. She's written so normal that she's not overtly characterful. Yeah. But it's not to say that she's not likeable. She's not.
No, sure. But just for a main character, and then you have Carol, which obviously she's the psychopath one, right?
Yeah, sort of.
So that doesn't work as one of your.
But it's difficult. But I saw some kind of thing from Angela Kang, and she said, yeah, we had to. Lauren Cohan's leaving, but she might be back for series 10. Is what we're sort of planning for, because it was just mostly contract dispute is what happened. Right. Why she left. So if she does come back for series 10, then that's not too bad. Yeah, I think actually in some ways getting rid of Rick, even though he's still one of the best characters in the show, so it could mean though that Angela Kang as a writer is sort of forced to come up with really good storylines to try and keep the show interesting.
And focus on strange characters.
Well, yeah, because like, how's it going to work if Rick's gone, but Negan's still around? You know what I mean? Even if he is in a jail cell, who's he going to interact with?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. It's like, where?
Well, yeah, it could be really interesting.
It could be really.
It could be shite. It could be absolute shite. But I doubt it will be.
I doubt
she seems to know what she's doing.
Yeah, she does seem to know what she's doing, and I think she'll do the Whisperers quite well, because apparently she loves the Whisperers.
Are they? What are they? What's their? I know they're creepy. But
they wear the skins of the walkers to walk around and pretend to be walkers.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a ridiculously good idea. And that their entrance in the show is going to be. That's the thing. The entrance of a new arc is always so interesting in Walking Dead, because it's always some crazy new idea and
there'll be some big episodes. I imagine they end them on cliffhangers.
Well, it's like, I don't know if I showed you the bit in the trailer where you see these walkers all going past, and these two characters sort of cover themselves in mud to hide away. And you can hear sort of the whispering of the walkers of the Whisperers.
Yeah. No, that's badass. That'd be cool.
And when are they coming? That was really tense.
Are they coming in Rick's last episode? Or?
We don't know. We don't know when they're coming. They're definitely coming. Probably by the mid-season, they'll all be there.
That's cool.
But yeah, they've all been cast. I just don't know what's happening, what's going to happen with that show. But it's exciting because series 7 and 8 were so predictable, and they followed the comic book storyline, but so slowly. To the point where it's.
So what were they even filling episodes with? I just don't get it. I just don't understand.
There was just a lot of stuff. I mean, if you give me an episode between series 7 and 8.
I don't know. Let's say like mid-season 7, the episode after the mid-season reintroductory episodes.
That's a very bad episode. But yeah, that's how slow it was, man.
But why? I don't understand why. I just don't know why.
Yeah.
Do they just need to fill screen time?
Well, they probably do. That's the thing. They probably. I don't know. Nah, but it won't be the same. And it wasn't. That's the thing. It never. There were always one or two, obviously, a season that would just feel completely superfluous. But that's bound to happen. There's 16 episodes, and you sort of want that. You want that. If there's 16 episodes. Yeah. But when it's like half the season, that's just ridiculous. But up until series 7, I had no problems with the flow of the season. Like, sure, it would drag a bit too much, but it wasn't like
silly.
It wasn't aggravating. It wasn't like you're sitting watching something and it repeats the same scene twice, and you're just like, oh, fuck.
What is this?
You've wasted my time.
You
wasted my time, and you've wasted characters potentially, because whilst you're doing the same old shit with Negan, this whole episode for 50 minutes, you could be focusing on a character that you haven't focused on for a long time. And that was the problem of it.
Spot in the line.
But now I think it is going to do that, because now Negan is right down on the list in terms of.
But that's brilliant. I think he would probably work better as a more supporting character.
Yeah, he does get better after this storyline.
Yeah.
So.
Anything else you want to mention from the first episode? Anything?
Not really. I mean, it's interesting as well because the first episode focused so heavily on Maggie and Rick and sort of Michonne, Carol, and Daryl, who are the sort of five characters.
Well, that's the main, yeah.
But. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, definitely over the next few episodes to see what the secondary characters do. I wonder what Gabriel is going to do this whole season, and
Father Gabriel.
Father Gabriel is brilliant.
He looks sick.
And people hated him at first, and I always liked him.
Aren't you meant to hate
from the start? Yeah, but I think he's such a good character. It's like Gregory. People just hate Gregory, and it's like but you're missing how brilliant that character is.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the times people mistake like real world likability.
Well, that's the thing.
character,
I saw an
like-
interview with the guy who plays Father Gabriel, and he was like, "Yeah, a lot of people used to just come up to me at panels and autograph signing to just tell me how horrible I was." And it's like now they finally like him, and it's like, but why would they get that so confused? Just all of the storylines are interesting. Like the next episode's just focused around them building a
bridge, which I think sounds quite.
It's
kind
so
of
cool, and they're
amazing.
all intense together, like and constructing this new bridge and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. That's
and
the
even
kind
though
of
that's
stuff you want.
trivial, but it's
want-
back to the roots of the show,
Yeah.
which was sort of trying to adapt,
But
and
it's
showing the nitty gritty.
Yeah,
of
it's
what's happened
survival in
this
all
world.
its minutiae, like
Yes.
the tiny little things that you wouldn't even
Exactly,
think about, you
yeah.
know, which is quite good.
And that's what we've got back. It's cool, yeah.
Yes. So those are 2 crazy seasons to be running concurrently. The 2 weirdest seasons of both those shows are running at the same
Possibly.
time. So yeah, we'll probably have another one out next week, probably over Skype.
Yeah.
I don't know if this would get 2 views or whatever.
50.
Should we have? I don't know. Should we have some outro thing or how do you want to end it?
Live, schlock, and prosper.